I'm at the bottom of the sea. I'm gonna stay down, down. I'm just stuck here in a dream.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
Live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence this 26th October in the year of our dumpster fire 2023. I'm your host, and the gunner said I got the Spinky.
Hey y'all, that's me.
Yeah. Anyways, man, of course, Branko. God, dude. You guys gonna cover this shit? Yes, we're gonna talk about rogue veterans. We're gonna talk about that story. Geez, Branko, you want us to hand you the mic, Branko? Is that what it is? Did you want us to go ahead and, since things aren't going your way, you want us to run it for you? God, dude, well, you gonna cover it up. I'm not gonna hide shit, dude. Always with your fucking comments, man. Always. Anyways, how's it going? How you doing, Becky?
Well, I was fine until just now.
Like, what the hell's going? Dude,
I guess you gotta do the show on Branko's turf.
Yeah, exactly that. I'm sorry, Branko. Ladies and gentlemen, this is welcome to WTF Nation Radio's Sergeant's Time. I'm sorry, we're gonna wait till we got get an email in from Branko to make sure that all of our shows are going to the way he likes it. Things are going my way. Why always with your dude? You asked a fucking stupid question, man. That's like what the fuck? Are you guys gonna cover shit up? You guys, dude, we're not like, dude, we don't cover shit up. We're gonna fucking talk about it. So there it is. Anyways, we got a guest tonight. Speaking of Center of Excellence, we got from the U.S. Army John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center and School, or Special Operations Center of Excellence. We have Chuck Ritter. Chuck Ritter, who is an active duty Special Forces Sergeant Major, and so he's gonna come on and shoot the shit with me. We're gonna soft podcast, Pineland Underground, softity soft. So legs need not apply. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm all legs, both of them. Neither one of them have been broken from falling out of.
Oh! You got to do a jab at me now, huh? Oh, gotcha.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I got jabby. I was all fine and dandy, and now I got jabby.
Yeah. Yeah.
One jab.
Oh,
my
okay.
legs, neither been broken.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, God, that was okay. I'll say that was a good burn though. Emotional damage, just like Jeremy just said. Good burn. Good burn.
One damage. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. One damage. All right. So, so if you guys have been paying attention, I guess we had active. Well, apparently, no, we have had. There was an active shooter in Maine. And apparently this guy was on the radar already and was committed for behavioral health, and he is he was released. And I don't even know what the fucking count is yet on how many casualties there were. But his name is Robert Card, and supposedly around like 3 hours ago, I guess there was a FBI. Somewhere over in Maine somewhere. It's like Bodwin. How do you pronounce that? Bodwin. And so he's still out. He's still out. He is still at large. Robert Card, who was assigned to the 3rd Battalion, 304th Infantry Regiment in Saco, Maine, while his unit supported West Point summer training in July 2023. There are no records indicating that he participated instructed or any training. The Army did not train Sergeant First Class Card as a firearms instructor, nor did he serve in that capacity for the Army. Due to the Privacy Act and ongoing investigations, we cannot provide further details. We take these matters seriously, and this is from a statement from the Army. We take these matters seriously, and our primary concern is to ensure that all legal and appropriate actions are taken in accordance with our commitment to upholding the highest standards of conduct among our soldiers and civilian personnel. We will continue to collaborate and support local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies. So it's been all over the news, and a lot of individuals have been saying, have been reporting. Again, dude, every time something like this happens, everyone likes to pile on and add their special shit and say it was because of this, or say because it was that. It was because, sources saying to me or whatever. I'm like, dude, man, social media has actually made it pretty fucking difficult to report anything with accuracy.
I do just gotta make one. Like Steve Banyan, I don't know if I pronounced his name right. Our
Steve Banyan, yeah.
military times.
Yep.
Yeah. He did post this earlier. He said, free tip to news outlets that if this guy has a sharpshooter badge, that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
But yeah, I just need to point that out there.
Yeah, exactly. Because every time the media says they immediately look at their awards for a qualification badge and say, he's a sharpshooter. I'm like, hey,
I even like, or marksman. Like they have a marksman's badge. Oh, okay.
So if you got a marksman badge in Spanky, you are a military marksman.
I know.
You're a military
I'm like,
marksman.
that bit. I hit that 23 out of 40.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like,
yeah. Here we go.
It just makes it look. Yeah, it makes you look like you really don't know what you're talking about.
You're right. Well, it's funny is because the last range that I went to before I retired, I didn't give a fuck. I was just there shooting. I just wanted to get my slides good. So I went to the range and went, I got to keep the slide screen as me being qualified. And I shot fucking sharpshooter, dude. I didn't give a shit. My last award, my last badge when I retired was a sharpshooter badge. I didn't care, dude. I just wanted to, like I said, to go do some pew-pews and go bust some caps and have fun. And I'm not the type of person that like, I have to shoot expert. But I know for a fact when my day comes and I pass and everyone's reading my eulogy or whatever, a sharpshooter is just a badge, okay? It is just a badge. Spanky, she's just a marksman. So I know what's going to happen. They're going to be like, oh man, this is going to be some Spanky and Ice, and they were both sharpshooters and marksmen, and these are top, and they were all old, Ice is old, and ancient skills of marksman sharpshooting. I'm like, man, you're right. They make it. Turns out this guy was a petroleum supply specialist. Am I going to make matters worse by shit talking this guy while he's out and about?
I don't know.
Is that because?
Yeah, we might hold off a little till he catch this fucker.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'll save my I'll save my worst shit talking until he's been caught.
Right. I save the shit talking until later.
Petroleum supply specialist, come on.
Yeah. The guy saw first class Robert R. Card is a petroleum supply specialist in the Army Reserve.
He's a gas station attendant.
Exactly. He pumps. Yeah. He pumps farps. He's a fuel pumper. And listen.
I literally read highly trained petroleum supply specialist today, and I choked on my diet.
How do you become I wonder if he follows the fucking page. I was like,
God damn it.
Yeah, exactly. Get a look now. So his service enlisting in 2002 has no combat deployment. Spanky, you got more combat deployments than him.
Yeah.
You've seen more stuff than him.
Me doing casualty reporting.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I know.
I know you were ranting earlier. I was just like, exactly, Jeremy.
Well, that's just what I'm saying. Is I don't like him being, in the reserves has nothing to do with the atrocious shit that he just did.
Correct.
That's the point.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Exactly that. It's pretty fucked up.
Him learning how to pump gas had nothing to do with what he just did.
Yeah. So supposedly
Yeah.
their investigators are executing a search warrant as we speak, but they're not being too specific. They're just saying that there's a house being circled, and there's cops are telling, hey, hands in the air over a loudspeaker. And so that's all I'm just doing wave top stuff right now because I'm like, I don't really, you know what I mean? I just kind of like,
Well, I honestly think that they're probably just like talking so hard about like his military service because that's probably all they can find about him.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
exactly.
like
Well, they went
that's
into
just all like public.
they went into his fucking they went into his one of his social media accounts, and immediately they honed in on what he liked on Twitter or the X app, or who he followed or who he commented on, and immediately everyone's jumping the gun saying so and so radicalized him, so and so radicalized. He's an Elon lover, so it's oh my god, he's a so Elon radicalized. Man, somebody scrolled up, somebody put up a video of who who he liked, of who he commented on, or who he reposted. That's a lot of fucking people. I mean, a lot of us follow fucking Elon for his shit takes and his fucking post. For his, you know what I mean? So it's like it's like everyone follows somebody for a specific dude. My stalkers, my trolls, they either follow me. I know all I gotta do is just type one thing. And the next thing you know, how do I know they're they're stalking me? I'll see them comment on their timeline, and I'll also see some like these weird little bookmarks. Like you're able to bookmark tweets. So I'll post something that I know my fucking haters will fucking react to, and they'll bookmark it, or you'll see them see WTF IO guy or the IO guy, WTF moments, he's fucking Gold Corp and and they fucking all add to that shit. And so it's like everyone follows everybody on social media for a reason. Dude, what are you talking about? I liked 3 fucking tweets from John Fetterman, Senator John Fetterman. Dude, mass hysteria, dogs and cats living together. Ken Ramos liking John Fetterman's tweets. What's going on? See,
I like the Sergeant Major's army, so that doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we follow military leader. Yeah, exactly. So the whole thing, dude. He even liked a couple of tweets from Mark Cuban. So it's like, so you're saying that Mark Cuban radicalized his ass too? It's like, shut the fuck up with that stuff. Nobody really knows deep down inside what made this motherfucker snap. But again, I think personally, there should be no court for active shooters. There should be, once you've been in a active shooting event, yes, that was you, that was confirmed as you. Okay, now face the fucking wall. There you go. See, that's simple. That's it.
Well, and that's another thing. I mean, it's like I have liked every single president that has been on social media, like because I want to know what the hell they're saying on social media. It doesn't mean I agree with everything that they say. Obviously, if I've liked every single president that's been on social media,
right?
But
there's some stuff that
I still, or every single major candidate, like Johnson, Clinton, Obama, Trump, Biden, all of them. I have liked all of their accounts.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with all of them, obviously.
Exactly.
So are they radicalizing me?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. It's like, hey, people.
I like cats with jobs.
Oh my God, what are you doing? Oh my, yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. I like we rate. Was it rate dogs? I like Hank the Golden Retriever. I mean, come on, dude. Is Hank radicalizing me too?
Or can you pet the dog? That's one of my favorite accounts on X. Can you pet the dog?
Exactly.
They find dogs in every video game. Can you pet the dog in this video game?
Everyone's clutching the pearl so fucking bad on this, and they really want to pin it on something or someone to blame, whatever. And immediately everyone's gonna jump to, oh well, he was radicalized by Elon Musk. Well, fucking everyone, dude. He's in your fucking TL, and of course if Elon is Elon, he'll post some fucking autistic thing that's fucking hilarious. And we're all fucking laughing and we like it or whatever. I've seen a lot of people that talk a lot of shit. I see them like their stuff too. But you don't see me going, he's radicalized. They're radicalized.
Well, Elon needs to post some more stuff about Dogecoin or Doggycoin or whatever it was.
Dogecoin, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's it. He can go back to posting about that.
Yeah, to the moon or something like that with all the rocket stuff and all that. Yeah, exactly.
See, like I said, so like what did he post? Something about like, okay, go pump fuel and shoot up Maine? Like, no, he didn't. So
No,
stop saying.
I know that. Yeah. Again, so my biggest thing is
social
that
media is okay.
I'm not going to get into we're not going to get into a Monday edition debate back and forth about the Second Amendment because this is Monday edition. We still got to.
Exactly.
We have to trash on fucking Fort Carson. And so I know everyone going back and forth talking about, dude, look, he's been on. It's always the case. It's usually in the last few mass shootings he's been on somebody's radar. The shooter has been on somebody's radar. To include this one. So it's like, they fucking knew about it, and they say he's got mental issues and all this other stuff. We've had tons of information on this guy and everything else. Oh, who radicalized him or who did this or who did that? But there was another mass shooting that happened in Nashville. The trans shooter that shot up a fucking church. Mm-hmm. And no one's saying much shit about that. So it's like we could play that back and forth game of who radicalized what. You know what I mean? So if you want to go through my fucking browser history, go right ahead. Because usually my browser history, it will be you. It'll be like, hey, did you see this? Or blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh no shit, and I'll Google what does this mean in Texas, and then I'll look it up. And then oh shit, oh fuck yeah, Spanky, damn, I Googled it. And it's normal. It is common human behavior for you to look up something on Google or on the internet to find whatever you want to look for. If I talk about anything on this podcast, someone's gonna go, I don't know, I don't believe what Spanky and I said. So I want to fucking Google it. Is that really true that you can do this and do that? And someone's gonna be like, oh my god. Yeah, exactly. Tina's like, the video games that made me do it. Remember back in the day when we lived under that? We had Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh yeah.
We had who was it? Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife.
Tipper Gore was the music.
Yeah, it was the music. That's why we have the little parental advisory labels now, because a lot of people fucking like, what are you talking about? And it even, what was it? Dee Snider from Twisted Sister testified before Congress.
Yes. And one of the songs, the main one was Darling Nikki by Prince.
Yeah. Darling, we're not going to take it. What was the other one? They even mispronounced it. They called it Darling Kitty too. I was like, that's Darling Nikki, because only the true Prince fans knows. And then we had, I know, so this is supposed to be Sergeant's time, but still, we're gonna segue off. Thanks, Branko. We were gonna do this anyways.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm kind of like, I didn't, I don't know. I listened to shit called Cannibal Corpse, and I don't have any nightmares. I can watch scary movies. So you know what? I remember how me and you talk about the true crime shit. Are you gonna look in your browser? Do we want to look in our browsers now to see if all the true crime shit was going on?
I mean, half of my browser history probably should give me red flag for something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I hate how everyone's like, he looked at so-and-so's website. Oh no, he liked Mark Cuban's tweet. Oh, no way, Mark Cuban. Oh no. It's like, dude, it's getting over. Again, if you're going to throw out all this information and want to go through his Google history, then let's go through the trans shooter history in Nashville. Let's go through other ones too. You can't fucking just jump on one tangent and then not expect to fucking, I can't believe Blink-182 let Tom Beck in the band after all the alien shit, right?
I mean, especially just because this guy is a reservist that is highly trained fuel specialist.
The highly trained.
Yeah.
Are we talking Adam Kinzinger fucking trained highly fuel specialist where he does it from the air and he does it on the ground? How highly trained are we talking about?
I don't know, but that was the exact acronym I read about him.
Exactly. I remember a real quick story, kind of ironic because I'm wearing the ball cap. I get to 1st Armored Division, and I get to 1st Armored Division, and I report, and I just come back from my first tour in Iraq, and they were like already there. They were getting ready. They just started their second tour, their first tour. So this was going to be my second tour of Iraq. So I show up, and I have all my, my patches and stuff sewn on, and all this other stuff. And the first thing they look at me, because I had a Special Forces combat patch, they go, "So where is that from? Desert Storm?"
You should say no.
I'm like, wait, what Desert Storm? I'm like, what are you talking about? I go, no, Iraq. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Iraq, Desert Storm. I go, no, like Iraq as in last year. You guys I was already fucking in Iraq doing my shit when you guys were trying to figure out how to load up tanks in a boat. And the HSC commander was kind of like laughing. He's like, haha, so what's your MOS? And I go, oh, it's a 37 Fox. what is that, Fueler? And I'm like, oh, no, it's PSYOP, it's PSYOP. And they're like, oh, you're the PSYOP guy. Okay, cool. I didn't even know what the MOS is. I didn't even know what your MOS is. So as soon as you said Fox, I thought immediately you're either a chemical guy or a fueler. So that's my fuel story. Highly trained psychological operations fueler. There you go. So again, Robert Card is the guy. I don't know. I'm not going to post any videos or stuff like that on social media because I don't want him to, like, unless he's listening to us or whatever. I mean, he's already done a lot of shit already. So I don't know what state he is to fucking know. I don't want to post people, he's surrounding his home or whatever. I'm pretty sure he's on social media too or whatever. But anyways, so that's the latest on this. Let's see. So what
Just for you, Branko.
Just for everyone's saying that they think they have him somewhere. So just check all your social media lines and all that. And everyone's like talking about taking your guns and shit. Like, well, that's a Monday edition talk or a Friday Night Freedom talk. So at any rate, so I have something that we're gonna talk about real quick. Remember when First Armored Division again? Remember when General Eisenhower at AUSA said something about adulting? Remember that?
Oh, yeah. I think yeah. You're gonna make me mad again. There we go.
Well,
okay, let's do it.
Okay. And he said that most of it was like discipline and shit.
Oh yeah, like we don't clean well enough. Them meddling kids.
Yeah. The kids don't clean enough or something like that, or whatever.
The kids aren't disciplined. They don't know how to remediate mold like professionals. Yeah, they're just not disciplined enough. They haven't gone to mold remediation.
Exactly.
That was it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So here's some more discipline. Right here. So you see all that discipline right there, just walking around the lights.
Oh my!
It's like,
are those tails?
All those tails on those little, and even the admins. We got some noobs, by the way. We got new admins. We got some admins.
Oh.
We got some newbies. We got some noobs that are ads. So now they're more hip to the game, more hip to the thing. And so they immediately they honed in on, they need more discipline. So.
So they didn't train their new pets well enough.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that must be it. Ratatouille.
Ratatouille, yeah, I saw that. So yeah, again.
Oh my god!
I got an interesting DM. Actually, it was more of a DM slash. It's about Fort Carson.
Say it ain't so.
Say it ain't so. And I think Fort Carson has turned into the new Fort Hood, or now Cav, Fort Cavazos.
Is this Fourth ID?
This is Fourth ID Fort Carson.
So they used to be at Hood back when it was Hood.
They used to. They used to be at Hood. Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
That's probably why.
Is that some sort of like maybe a sort of kind of. Like
they took
the hood with them. Yeah, I don't want to say that, but yeah, yeah, exactly. So look, I'll just say this: members of U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio are in your spouses groups. There are admins that are either in them as members of the group themselves, or we get sent to that by members of the admins in there as well. Does that make sense? Is that kind of like
a fair statement? Yes.
It's a fair statement. Okay.
Yeah.
And so okay, cool. So
I think our listeners are picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. One of the things that happened is that this is just recently as in the last few days. I'm gonna read a post, and then I'll post it up in a minute as we're talking. And this was a spouse, an anonymous member in the Fort Carson Army Spouses group, Facebook group. I am several of them. I don't I'm not really like, I don't really hide it either. I'm kind of like in there, you know? I mean, if you guys know the ghost, the emblem behind me, the ghost is in there. If you see the ghost, and I don't even comment. I don't post. I don't like, I don't laugh. Okay. I take that back. The Fort Bragg spouses are fucking hilarious. They'll throw some good, they'll throw some good memes in there. And I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking hilarious. And I'm like, okay. So this was in the Fort Carson Army Spouses group. And basically what it is that it is a chain of command of a soldier. And this is his spouse talking, saying that she had sent a Red Cross message to the command because they're having surgery. She's having surgery tomorrow in Denver to have her fibroids removed. If you guys don't know what fibroids are, man, they're fucking like, they're serious. It's serious for, I mean, I am not equipped. I think Spanky, you can discuss a little bit more about.
I mean, if they're not
fibroids.
removed, it could like literally cause like infertility issues to the point where you cannot have kids ever. Like that kind of serious.
And also they can become cancerous too.
Yeah. Yes, they can do that as well.
I
mean, there's also, and it's not something to be taken lightly. Just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I've known families that have lost children in utero due to fibroids, and I've also somebody shot me a stat about
can be busted.
Yeah, exactly. So is that who's that chuckling? Oh shit! Hey, is Chuck? You were like listening in already? He's already listening. I see him. Did you see Chuck in there? He's all. I heard.
Yes,
I heard him. Okay, he muted his mic. There he is, right there. Anywho, so 4 to 5 year survival rate, high 50, low 60%, and wow. If you are going to tell a soldier that you're using this as an excuse to get out of NTC, you're fucking wrong. This is not an excuse. This is not, I mean, it's serious, man. It's like NTC. I get it. I get it. You're going to NTC despite your best efforts to avoid it? What the fuck does that mean?
I wouldn't even like get into the fact that the first sergeant doesn't know how to use proper grammar.
Yeah, that's true. You mean you're instead of your,
because I mean, and I'm saying that for a reason. It's just because this has just been in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
The first sergeants that I have known that have not taken the time to educate themselves enough to use the proper yours and yours usually are the ones that are big sergeants like this that don't have cannot see beyond the big sarge mentality. Like nothing is more important than you being on that plane to NCC, including the fact that your wife like might have a ruptured I can't even say the word fallopian tube, by the time you get back, that, like if the Army wanted you to have a spouse, they'd issue one type mentality.
Yeah.
And because they would not even take the time to finish a GED level education for themselves. And that's my whole point. That's why I get on. I'm like, and because I've worked for first sergeants like that, like they can't even send a professional email. Like, and without like the little squiggly lines and are like, and I'm not saying that, like, it's just like, because they don't take the time to even educate themselves on anything. And then they're going to tell this guy that like, oh, you're trying to get out of NTC. Like, no, the fuck he's not. His wife is having major surgery.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not elective. It's not fucking elective.
Yeah. That's another thing too, is they're saying that it's an elective surgery. And I don't like the way that's been dumbed down. It's almost like leaders have been given the opportunity to use that as their own discretion. I'm not talking about profile writers or fucking malingerers. I'm talking about like, this is kind of serious, and it's just NTC. Literally, it is just NTC. You could go, you can let her recover from surgery. NTC will always be there, and when he's done with the 2 weeks for emergency leave or whatever for the spouse to recover from the surgery, man, you can send him out. Flying back out.
I want to ask that first time, what if it's your fucking wife?
Yeah.
Like, what if it's his wife? What if it's the commander's wife? What if it's that battalion or brigade sergeant major's wife? Or, would they be going?
Yeah.
I bet they wouldn't.
Oh, you best.
I bet they wouldn't. So yeah, that's my whole problem with it. Like, because damn good and well that if it was that brigade commander's wife that just like went to the doctor and found out that they needed this surgery and they could fit them in and get it done immediately, then it would be happening,
Mm-hmm.
and that brigade commander would be there with his wife getting that surgery done.
Yeah.
And you know that.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure the brigade commander would fly out like as soon as his wife was stable and home and taken care
Yeah.
of.
So what's wrong with that? What's wrong with taking care of the troop? What's wrong with doing the same for the troop?
Oh no, because the troop was trying to get out of something.
I'm gonna now that I'm out, I can say some secrets. I've flown kids back to take a test for college. I've also brought kids back from exercises to go do some to take care of their family and some other stuff. And I even allowed one to do a recital.
Well, I can say now that I kind of I've been a proctor for my kids.
Oh wow!
Because like at their schools, it's like, oh, you just have to have a degree and be it said an officer, but it didn't say nothing about the non-commissioned in front of it. I just I put the non-commissioned in front of it. I wrote it, but their college didn't know the difference between officer and non-commissioned officer. I said non-commissioned officer. I put the officer in bold, and I didn't lie. I put non-commissioned officer.
I'm just saying that's like E4 Mafia stuff right there. Come on. There's nothing wrong.
Proctored their shit for them.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, I've even snuck back some chow too. They're not good to get. I mean, and look, there's just some things that you can and can't put out there, if that makes any sense.
Right.
You can't put some of that shit out there. It would have been nothing wrong. Hey, go ahead and this is how shit gets elevated, and this is how it gets our attention too. Some of the most common sense shit you'd think would go up, that would be like common sense. Yes. Yep. Go ahead. Take your leave. Go ahead and handle what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Let me know what's going on. Keep me informed. Make sure your old lady's good, blah, 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 blah. And then roger that for sergeant, or roger that sergeant major, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you let them go. That's it. And then you just, it's almost like a drive on thing. It's like, okay, shoot now. Okay. That issue's fixed. I got to get the guys ready for the field. If they're fixating on this troop going or not going, then there's another issue.
I'm just still like, didn't they have like some complete graphic about like what is more important than anything in the military? And I think this is like up there. It's like the one level below like catastrophe type, or catastrophe, or like once in a lifetime events, like
Mm-hmm.
weddings and deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember General
This is like
McConnell
the
when he
one
was
level.
General McConnell,
That was who.
that was who did that
Yes,
work-life
that's the
balance
one.
slide. Yeah, did the work-life balance
Yeah.
slide and stuff like that, and decided to put that out.
Sergeant should have seen that.
Yeah, well, should have seen that. Yes.
Maybe he should like email it to him. This first part. And I will email him some basic grammar lessons.
Why you gotta be mean, Spanky?
Because that's just how I was nice, and then I got told how to do my show tonight. Which is, I got told what to do.
Yeah, what's up with that, dude? What's up with that? I gotcha. Hey, Branko, we're just breaking balls, dude. Don't get pissed off, man. I'm like,
oh, I'm always messing with you.
Yeah, you would have been blocked already if we were serious. You'd have been out, ready, and blocked. And that'd have been it. So yeah, it's simple little simple shit like that. Well, I also posted 4th ID's command climate survey. Or portions.
I'm sure that was all wonderful.
Portions
great.
Portions of what they have posted. And that was just like one, like two, not even 2 pages of it. And I got through. I was like, God, send me more. You guys forgot me at the fuel point, but the unit is going to shut down if I miss NTC.
And I bet this person's like never been to sick call either.
Yeah. Oh my God. Go to sick call. Get your shit documented like Spanky says, because god dang, dude, you really need to do it. So anyway, that was just that thing. And another story this is out of Fort Liberty, North Carolina. Ooh, maybe we can talk to Chuck about this too. About there's 2 special operations soldiers that got busted for drug possession. And it was due to an investigation that happened in January 2023. I'll say it. It was a special forces guy and it was a psyop guy.
You little zip zappies.
I'm just saying. I'm not just talking about the irony that a special forces guy and a psyop guy is about ready to go on air together right now. But I'm just saying that it just goes to prove.
Y'all better stay out of trouble.
Exactly that. Well, there's one, there's another. So it was Staff Sergeant Travis Reimer and Sergeant First Class Ryan Wallen, both assigned to different elements of the 1st Special Forces Command, were arrested on Monday by the Harnett County Sheriff's Office and charged with felony possession of a Schedule 1 controlled substance and civil possession of a Schedule 2 substance. I wonder if Chuck knows. When he pops in, I'll ask him about it if he knows a little bit of details of it. I don't know if he can talk about it or not, but I wonder what the substance was. Because if it's like weed or something like that, then it's like, it's like weed, really. Are we? I mean, weed's like having an open container now, isn't it? In some states.
I mean, in a lot of states, it's been decriminalized, like even with like open container for a small amount.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like
exactly.
like a roach clip in a joint, or hell, not even. I think it's like not even an ounce or something like that, right? I mean, what's the?
Like who has time for that anymore? We got real criminals.
We got real drug stuff to capture, like fentanyl and all this stuff. I wonder what it was.
Right?
I don't want. I'm just curious of the substance. I don't want to know the deets. I want to know what the substance is. So, Staff Sergeant Romer, RAHMER, not Ramos, Romer, because I've already been asked. So he's a psychological operations specialist assigned to the 4th PSYOP group, and Sergeant First Class Wallen is assigned to the 3rd Special Forces group. So hand in hand once again. That's a KOE. One is a PSYOP specialist, and the other one's a community. Yeah, a community. Yep, that was he's an 18 Echo. So that is the Special Forces Communications Sergeant. Which I'm glad Chuck's coming on too, because we need to get. It's good. It's good to get some to other soft, other special spicy people to come on in here and shoot the shit. Talk about the tribes. I'm excited about him coming on, even though I don't look like I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm just ecstatic. So, well, are you? You're doing your. You banging? Are you beating up Branko in the chats?
No, me and Brandon are just fighting. It's okay. Leave us alone.
I was about to say, wait a minute. I see a little bit of tussling there in the comments. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
I was not. No. Everything's fine.
Oh, okay.
Everything's fine.
Okay.
He's calling me a grammar Nazi, and he spelled grammar wrong. So I had to.
Oh my gosh. Quote from the Special Forces, from 1st Special Forces Command, is that while they're innocent until proven guilty, we are encouraged to see progress in the ongoing investigation of these arrests, demonstrate the Army's commitment to accountability, and reduce and eliminate drug use and drug related crime. Further, these allegations do not reflect the values of the Army and the Special Operations Community. I just want to know the tea about what it was, what substance. I don't give a shit. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't want to know the details of what happened. I just want to know what substances they were. So
I wonder if that'll come out. Like, I'm sure it will. I'm sure they'll let us know at some point.
Yeah.
I'll put a little news alert. So when it comes out, I'll be like, oh, yeah.
Pip says,
watch it be like,
what's up?
No, like watch it be something like really crazy, like peyote or something.
Yeah, some weird shit like, fucking like fentanyl paste or some crap or something like that.
No, because they're like special forces. It can't be just basic marijuana. It must be
well, when Chuck comes on, he'll probably tell us, hey, what it was. If he can tell us. I know the investigations. Like, again, I don't want to know the details about what happened to how the investigation. I just want to know what was the substances that they got popped for. And then if you can't say, then obviously you can't say.
Right.
There was a comment in there about the about active duty soldiers coming on to do podcasts. Hey, that's just the way it is. This is the information space now. It's better to hear it from the soldiers themselves than have somebody like whatever the shit posters on social media like to comment about the military that have no clue about the military. They like to say stuff about the military that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So that's been my biggest thing. Hey, can we rag on other personalities on here, even though it's Sergeant's time, or or is that a Monday thing?
I'll allow it.
Okay, Tim Pool and Jack Posobiec, like those guys, they're the ones that like to talk all about what SOF does and what this. We have another guy that writes for Rolling Stone that goes around Fort Liberty and just pokes around, and everything is a soft fucking conspiracy theory. And I'm just like, dude, why don't you actually ask somebody who is an actual member of that community? Hell, even, you know me, I've been attacked before too by individuals who think they know what I did or what I do or now. So it's like, oh my God, dude. What's up, Baconator? I see you in the chats. So it's like freaking, dude, it's like, dude, just ask them. So I feel that it's awesome that leaders are out there. I even got somewhat soft corrected by a 4-star today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A retired 4-star, actually, General Abrams. I made a quote about Lieutenant General retired Flynn. And I put General, I called him General, and then General Abrams graciously came in there and corrected me. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's you're right.
Is this the tell me your unit, General? Right?
yeah, this is the same. This is the same. Tell me your unit. That General Abrams.
Yes.
He is also he also his dog Hank the Golden. That's the dog that I follow on Twitter. Hank is out doing his stuff, and so, anyways, yeah. So even I got corrected, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, you're right, sir. True that. That's right. I in civilians, when you say general, immediately you think whatever general. So I didn't want to talk about the Indo-PACOM commander General Flynn. I wanted to talk about the one that's retired, that's walking around like a QAnon whatever, and he gets butthurt when you talk about him. He talks so much fucking shit, but when you say something about him, he wants to sue people. So that's just him.
I'll keep that in mind so I don't say anything to get sued for.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, exactly. Well, freedom of speech is great for people until they get their feelings hurt. Then all of a sudden they want to sue you,
right?
And so it's like, dude, why don't you just shut up? Everyone, I could say it just like you could say it. So anyways, going back to what I was saying, there's nothing wrong with having senior leaders come on, and it's better for them to tell the story, than have someone come out there who has no fucking clue of what they do say the story for them, if that makes any sense. But anyhow, shit. Well, we could bridge this set up. I'm going to go ahead and take a break, and we're going to bring Chuck on. He's probably going to, berate me and start, going off on some other stuff. But Chuck, he's a good dude. You guys, I can't wait for you guys to hear him out. But we'll be right back, and shots. So behave, Branko. You guys in the chats, I see you. So.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
If that's really a thing, and I get authorized to do it once, it's pretty much going to be me sitting there talking shit, like, constantly.
Nothing feels the same. Left it all behind. 'cause it's so sad. Tell me where you lost your faith. Is it so bad? Couldn't see it in your face, and it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Why you keep it in your head? Is it so bad? Never heard a word you say it, and it's so sad. Tell me when you lost your way, 'cause it's so bad. I'll see you when I pray, and it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Is it what you want? Is it what you needed now? Is it what you breathe? Is it what you're feeling now? Is it what you feel? Is it what you're feeling now? Is it what you wanted? I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down to me. I'll wait until you come back down. Hello, you. Will you come back down to me? Hello, you. Will you come back down? Hello, you. Won't you come back down to me? Hello, you.
What is this Facebook Live? I've never heard of this shit.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back with my guest, Sergeant Major Chuck Ritter. What's going on, brother? How you been?
What's going on?
Man, you got quite a bio here. You were the you're the assistant commandant to the Non-Commissioned Officer Academy at the John F. Well, it's deputy commandant.
It sounds more important.
It says when you say deputy as opposed to
assistant. Nobody wants to be an assistant.
No, okay, yeah, true. At any rate, so tonight you were an active duty Special Forces Sergeant Major soldier, and the deputy commandant of the John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center School. And has it changed completely as it went from SWIC to the soft COE, or is it still kind of jumbling?
No, it's still SWIC.
It's still SWIC.
It is a center of excellence, but that's just
okay. And also, you are the producer of the premier podcast, the Pineland Underground. What's up, man?
Yes, what's going on? So I never say this in the podcast because I refuse, but I will tonight. These are my views as Chuck Ritter, and not the views of the Army, right? I don't even say it on the podcast because I think it sounds stupid, but you don't have to say it. But
yeah,
people are like, oh, that's what the Army said. No, it's not.
Well, I mean, most of your, I mean, your. Well, let's kick off with. Let's just talk about the Pineland Underground. What's it about? Tell us about what's the whole purpose of it.
So it's an official military podcast by the USA JFK SWIC, which is the John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center and School, which is where we build special operations forces, civil affairs, psychological operations, and special forces. From beginning to end, if you want to come into this community, you'll come to selection on the front side. You'll go through all of our NCO PMEs, which we control for those 3 MOSs, and then we control the advanced schools too. So about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, General Roberson, who was the CG at the time, wanted a podcast. And he said, hey, I want a podcast. Some people said, okay, well, oftentimes in the military, we confuse doing the right thing and doing that thing right. So people created a podcast and they made 20 episodes and they sucked. And I think they had like 120 downloads. So I came on as a guest and I was like, hey, this thing sucks. For one, it's an official military podcast. Who wants to listen to that? And then it was a major by himself. And I was like, well, who wants to listen to a major run his mouth on an official podcast? I was like, let's make this thing into something that's good, right? And that was a year ago, and we just hit like 138,000 downloads. So I think that we made some progress there. But then it's an official podcast, but then you run into some problems. Like one, who wants to listen to an official military podcast? I know I don't. And then who wants to listen to a sergeant major and a field grade officer run their mouth for an hour to 2 hours? Like, I mean, again, I know I don't. So that was kind of the problem statement, is how do we take this and make it into something good that's authentic? People don't feel like they're being bullshitted, and we're putting out important information that's powerful, that can change the way people think. And I get stopped, I'd say almost weekly, down in our training facility or other places, where we're like, hey man, like, I listened to this podcast and it's why I came in to be an 18 X-ray. Hey, I listened to this and made me think differently about this subject of leadership. So I think that's successful. I think it's been pretty awesome. It's been good. I mean, I just hosted an episode today. I still produce it on the backside, but we just changed over to new hosts because my retirement packet's in. I'm doing a new job for USASOC while I retire. And then my co-host, Bobby Tuttle, Major Tuttle, he's taking over the strategic comms position at SWIC. So he still has oversight over the podcast, still in his portfolio, but we're going to have less involvement with it. But it's there to give a no BS look at whatever our subject matter is. Like, we've done things on leadership. We've done some on what is civil affairs, what is PSYOP, what is special forces. There's a little bit of cussing in there. I think we're probably on the verge of getting fired every time we release an episode, but that's okay, right?
Well, I mean, a lot of it, I think a lot of it's different from how, I don't know. It's just, we have a different mentality when it comes to some of the stuff that we engage. Like, for some of us, it is, for us, that how we would, like you and I talking, if it was overheard from somebody else from a different service, or even in big Army, they would be like, do those guys hate each other or something? We have a more direct, like, we will say what we mean and mean what we say. I don't know. It's just a weird dynamic. What are the tribes? I get that asked a lot, and I don't mind talking it, but from the schoolhouse, what is the definition of the tribes?
Let's go a little bit bigger, right? So we break it down. So you've got US SOCOM, Special Operations Command, right? Within that, under that portfolio, you have a bunch of different tools in the toolbox, right? And then within that, you have Army Special Operations, right? So you have SEALs, you have MARSOC, but then within our Army Special Operations, you have Ranger Regiment, you have 160th, and then you have 1st Special Forces Command, and within that 1st Special Forces Command, you have the tribes. And within Special Operations, we can all kind of sometimes do the same things, but everybody has a different job. It's like a tool. I can pick up a screwdriver and use it as a hammer to put in a nail if I want to, but it's much more efficient if I just pick up the hammer and use it because it's intended purpose. Right. But then, so within those tribes, within what we call 1st Special Forces Command, you have civil affairs, psychological operations, and Army Special Forces, or the Green Berets. And everybody gets into semantics, like, oh no, it should be special operations forces if it's not, Green Berets, because we're special forces and you got special force types. It doesn't really matter. Like, everybody's job is different. For us, three civil affairs, PSYOP, and SF, we often work together, or we should, if we really want to, have max effects in the battlefield. But they're different jobs, and we're kind of like the budget soft. Like, people might get offended by that. Like, the three tribes of the budget soft. We are the dirty deeds done dirt cheap. If you want something done for a longer duration with a low American footprint, right, little to no resources, using mostly indigenous means to accomplish some kind of national end state or strategic end state, you come to us, right? Because that's what we do. We're force multipliers. We will take a few bodies that are Americans, and we will partner with a much larger force, and we'll make something happen. And maybe that's working with embassies or working with an actual host nation military, whatever that might be. That's where you send us, right? If you want something done that's surgical or more extremely hard hitting, then you go to other entities. But we're the cheaper option, I guess. That's my opinion.
Well, not to mention the fact that I don't even think a SOCOM budget within the DoD is not even a lot. It's like isn't like what 1% of the DoD budget, if that is.
I don't know. The SOCOM budget is actually pretty large. I mean, the USASOC budget is pretty large, but certain entities get more money.
Right.
When you look at, comparatively speaking, like, we don't get a whole lot of money.
No,
there's not a whole lot of resources there, right?
No,
but that's beneficial. Like, we all complain, especially like I'm a career Green Beret, right? And we are pains in the ass, and we like to, the beer's too cold, everything's a problem all the time. But for the way I look at it is,
you complain now.
Minimum amounts of resources in the rear, where you're having to solve impossible problems back here in a 12 to 18 month training cycle, just preps you for the battlefield, where you are literally given an impossible mission with little to no resources, true mission command environment, decentralized, where you're expected to figure out problems and try to keep it as legal as you can and make things happen, right? With fiscal authorities that don't make sense, but like, hey, this is this pot of money. You can't really do with it what I'm asking you to do, but you're going to figure it out. And then you go do impossible things, right? That's what we do. But that's the tribes. And I'll give you an example a little bit when we talk about what was called the population studies group, but they work best together, in my opinion. But that's it. Hope that answers your question.
No, well, yeah, some of the questions that I've been getting from the fans too. Now, are the Rangers? How are the? Well, I got some questions in here. How are the Rangers soft?
I mean, they're special operations force. I mean, they are the ultimate raid force in the world, right? If you want to hit something hard with a large fist, that's the element of choice, right? They can go in, they can hit a target very hard, and come out, and then rinse and repeat for as long as needed, right? Anywhere in the world. There's not a superior hard-hitting force that can go in and take some kind of denied area and then come out and come back and do it again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Whereas we're designed to go in and be more of a long-term,
right? Maybe
like a less sexy solution.
Less sexy? Are you? I thought that was sexy though. The long-term stuff.
I think it is, but people are like, oh, like dive, Halo, kicking in doors. That's a thing. But
that's a good question too. Has since the end of the GWOT or the Global War on Terror, are you seeing any shift on how special operations in itself is going? Like how you, because before we just did that by, with, and through stuff, UW stuff, JSETs and bilats. And
I'll be honest with you, right? We say by, with, and through, but how do you work by something? That's not even proper English. Like that. I know that we say that, but you work with and through, and you can have something done by a force, but you don't work by. It's weird. It's like, what are you standing next to him? Like, anyway, that's one of my semantics. It's like it's a German task organized for purpose. Like no, you have a task, you organize for that purpose. You don't need to add.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I always say that. But no, that's a good answer though, because what have we evolved? What are we evolving? Because before we were doing the actual UW stuff. We were actually doing what some even consider.
I don't think it's changed, right? Like I think everybody's like, oh, during the GWOT, you guys were doing all the CT stuff, and we were, but we never divested of our other responsibilities. So while the global war on terror was going on in the past 20 years, we still, at least as Green Berets, we had people in Asia, we had people all in South America, we had people in Europe and all over all your Central Asian states, right? And now post GWAT, like as far as our formation, we are busier than we were during the GWAT. Like our op tempo is more. So semantics have changed, right? We're going to more like, irregular warfare terminology uh, as almost like a blanket term, which I'm for, because semantics are important and they do matter, especially when it comes to legalities. But I don't think much has changed in like the core of what we do. It's just of how people define it, and then obviously technology is what it is. So that is a factor. But after working in Syria, when that stuff gets shut off, like you're back to being a very archaic warrior because you just don't have it.
And that's mostly because of what you have to do to infill and exfil, and then it's almost like you're shutting down what you're doing, but you still have to maintain your soldier skills.
Yeah, the basic fundamentals are always there. Like in 13 combat trips, I've never found anything that trumps 321-8 or used to be 7-8, like basic infantry tactics, Ranger handbook, like your basic fundamentals of land navigation, how to read a map, how to shoot, how to conduct patrolling, military decision-making process, like TLP, nothing trumps that. Like there's no special stuff that even technology-wise that trumps that, right?
No, you're right. No, you're right. No, it makes complete. Well, my biggest thing is that the thoughts of the SFABs, the Security Force Assistance Brigades. I know there was a lot of consternation because everyone's saying that it's taking that. Is it taking it from SOF? Is that mission? What's the difference in the two?
Different mission sets. Similar in that that it's mostly an advisory role. I would say there's probably great power in combining an SFAB's efforts with Special Forces, Sea and Civil Affairs efforts on the ground. If we ever did that, I have never seen that, but I know that I've used Afghanistan as an example of when my ODA with 12 people is aligned against a battalion and sometimes a brigade-sized element, and we're also operational. So we're going out on missions every 3 days on the battlefield, but I'm also trying to get their staff to where the S2 gives the S3 a piece of paper and they can go action it. It's been pretty awesome to have an SFAB there helping with all that, doing that to where we could actually get the battalion to where it needs to be, plus the companies where they need to be and the platoons where they need to be, which is impossible for, even if you, put 3 or 4 ODAs on against, a Kandak or something like that, it's still probably an impossibility. But a lot of times those guys have the expertise that we don't have because you have artillery and fires experts in that unit that, they're far more capable than I could ever be with indirect fires. You actually have those SMEs, those logistical SMEs to get those entities where they need to be, where we can't do that. Like we like to say we can do that as a Special Forces Green Beret, but I'm not a logistician. I'm not, an artillery person. Those entities will always be able to do their job better. Like I can't out infantry and infantrymen. Like I can't do it. Even though I was in the infantry, like, right. It's not a thing. Like you need those SMEs on the ground to be able to teach those things.
Security Force Assistance and FID, somebody just said, is it the same?
Yes and no. Really the only difference is Security Force Assistance, you're really just focusing on internal, where FID, you're focusing internal and external threats. And again, it comes down to semantics. You're like, oh, that sounds kind of stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to legalities and fiscal authorities, that's when that's important. And that's when it's always important to know the rules of the game, to play the game effectively and keep yourself out of trouble and not in jail and be able to accomplish your mission set, right? So they're like, oh, like why is there a difference there? Legalities.
Yeah. That's another just people ask me that it's a specific title that I'm like, do you have to know specifically what those authorities are? Title 10, Title 50. You have to understand them when you're navigating it. It's just, that's why I always laugh when someone says, well, we'll send an SF guy and SF team and PSYOP team and CA team, and they could just do willing. It doesn't really work that way without getting into the specific boring ass details of what authorities you're operating under.
Your authorities, your permissions, like, it's knowing a lot of stuff to be able to accomplish your mission, because usually you're going to be asked to do something where it's very much in the gray area, where like, most of our fiscal authorities right now are very counterterrorism focused, but a lot of the stuff we're doing isn't counterterrorism. So then how do you do what you're supposed to do? Well, you got to be creative.
Right. There's also been some discussion about cuts. I mean, I myself as a, I'm curious to know. I know there's been a lot of.
I'm sure. I followed you on there. You freaking out online and getting everybody all spun up about at least psychological operation.
You're
cuts.
damn right.
Oh my God, the world's coming to an end.
It is.
They're gonna
It is.
destroy us.
It is damn right. I have to. Well, it would just the same if someone was talking about special forces or CIA. I know there's some friends that
we're cutting those too.
Yeah, in different tribes that say the same thing. So then give us the whole. I wouldn't say the whole explanation to it, but the cuts that have been discussed in, I guess, our mill media, like Army Times or Military Times. What do you know? What tea do you have about it?
So the Army dictated cuts, right? And you've known me long enough that I don't bullshit, right? Like,
right.
There was a whole thing last year where I was calling out the SMA on Twitter and in person before that. And I'll give it to Princeton. Like, we had a very good conversation after. It was very professional. But I don't care about, I am a company man, but I'm also not. I'll call out BS when I see it. The Army dictated cuts. USASOC, General Bragg and crew took that fight up to the Army pretty well. But at the end of the day, like all of us that are in the Army, we volunteer to be in the Army. You can always look down to your left, oh shit, I'm in the Army. We volunteer to do things that we necessarily don't want to do sometimes. You're going to get told to do shit that you don't agree with. You're going to raise your concerns, and then you're going to yep, it's not illegal, immoral, unethical, against policy or regulation. I'm going to execute. They took that fight, and weekends, like they were fighting it. Finally, the Army showed up in color, and they had to make some cuts. And yes, psychological operations took quite a bit, probably in comparison. But that wasn't due to USASOC. That was due to the Chief of Staff of the Army's guidance. Barnum, that's what it was, right? I think they're pretty smart. They said, hey, we're going to cut all of our P2 billets, which is our regular Army billets. I think it was like 450 or maybe 500. Where, okay, well, these are the soft billets, these special operations billets we have out in the force. Okay, you don't think that we're value added or you want to cut it, so we're going to take those. And the Army agreed to that. So cuts are coming. But we did get very fat in the past 20 years. We did. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Like, agree or disagree. Like, we are in the Army. We're going to do it at this point. So it's going to come down. We're going to figure out, how to deal with those cuts. But the reality is most of those cuts over 5 years, you're just not going to have backfills in the next couple of years. And a lot of you, like your psychological operations cuts, are billets you're not even filling anyway, right? And the majority of it's in headquarters elements. So your snipers on the ground probably aren't going to feel the bulk of it, but it is going to affect promotions, right? Because that's just the way it works. In 18 series.
We just activated 9th SIAP Battalion just activated their Charlie Company.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably a byproduct of that as well.
Yeah.
But
so it's going to be interesting. The Army's not tracking these cuts because, obviously at the Academy, I look at, all the projections for psychological operations, civil affairs, and 18 series out to 2028. So I'm assuming next year that SMDR process will reflect that. But before those cuts happened, I was preparing the Academy to accept a lot more 37s because that's what the projection was, that the Army was going to increase the 37 population, but obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah, because right now I just got one of the kids tell me on the force that they're like staff sergeants are at 41%. That's how that, and they just promoted a bunch of them anyway. So, and as soon as they promoted them, it was almost like it was just a drop in the bucket on a raising of its percentage.
You guys are going to have a lot of the head shed and no workers. It's going to be real weird.
It is. That's what I'm saying. That's what's the thing. Now you're right though. On some aspects that I agree with is we don't send enough people to the TSOC anyway. So who we send to the TSOC, I think more of it on the ground is more important than what's in the HQ. Has it?
And you guys have done a pretty poor job of messaging what you do too. Maybe 2 is 18 series. They was like, we got to be quiet professionals while you're doing that. And usually the guy saying you got to be a quiet professional, some dude with an Adiregs mustache, 3 tattoos, a big ass truck, and a Malone Lab sticker in the back of it. Seems pretty loud to me, right? But anyway, that's.
No, you're right. We do suck at it. I mean, some of the big things at my previous assignment working on the Global Soft Initiative, working the comms and the messaging pieces for Admiral McRaven. And I was it was just they were asking me, or who are you, when we were providing comms messaging and branding for the Global Soft Initiative, I had a colleague with me, and everyone's like, don't tell me you're a PSYOPer, just to see what happens. And we pitched, we got it approved, and then someone's like, hey man, didn't I see you working at DINFOS, or didn't I see you working at DMA? Or I'm like, no, dude, I'm a fucking PSYOPer, man. It's just we don't. But you're right. How do you get that? Because according to the net, we're in some deep shit. There, according to the net, PSYOP is intertwined and everywhere. What do you think about the Ghost in the Machine?
I think it's a great video. Obviously, it caused some problems for USASOC when like but it's probably one of the greatest recruiting videos I've ever seen. We got the part 2 coming out here pretty soon.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've been keeping that close to me because I'm not gonna.
Hey, but we did an episode called Ghost in the Machine for Pineland Underground with the creator of Ghost in the Machine, and Ash Holtzman, who's another psychological operations planner, who's one of the new hosts, which is pretty badass. So if you want to know about the Ghost in the Machine, I would recommend checking out Pineland Underground Ghost in the Machine episode.
Ash is a good dude, man. He's a good dude. So see that, but you're right. We can't. I'll say it. I mean, we'll step on our fucking selves. We step on ourselves on how to brand ourselves. Does that make sense? It's like
to the Army too. Like look at special op. Look at Field Manual 3-0, the most recent one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot of softening. There's some, right? But we've done a very poor job of explaining ourselves to even the people we work for, because we're still in the Army. Like we like to confuse the fact, like, oh, we're special operations, we're in the Army. Like, no, dude, you're still in the Army.
Yeah.
Right. We've done a pretty poor job of it, and I think that's why we have felt some of the things we felt, just because we do suck at messaging. And as psyopers, who you're supposed to be messengers, but you also suck at messaging. That's pretty weird. So anyway,
I'm not. Yeah, and that's another thing. I don't take it as a ding. I'm angry. Well, me and you've had some good heated, not against each other, but good conversations about why can't we just we have an $8 million fucking facility at Fort Liberty that's got one of the most state of the art fucking. I moved a fucking section from SOCOM to the rack, moved it there, and I'm just like, okay guys, it's there. We have Hollywood. Let's. You're embarrassing me in front of the Wizards. Let's go. Let's. Are you gonna do something about it? And it's my. I'm sitting on my hands, dude. I'm sitting on my hands, just like shaking my head. Like we could do so much to actually amplify the messaging and selling all the tribes, all 3 tribes. But
you can do it intelligently. Like you don't have to break OSFEC. You don't have to be that person that's out there like being super loud and ridiculous and not being authentic. Like I would argue that maybe the Army's issue, and I'm sure some of the Army marketing people who I now have to work with sometimes, which I do appreciate what they're doing, but I think we do it poorly. Overall, like what we're trying to message, we confuse doing the right thing with doing the thing right.
Right.
Yes, we should be messaging, but then who's your target audience?
Exactly. Well, for us, it's. I mean, that's another thing too. Target audience is all of it, all of it, internal and external messaging. That everyone gets locked into one type of thing. Like, yes, it's okay to have a special forces guy and a CA psyop guy assist in telling that story, and no, because you're psyoping and you're using special operations, special forces assets to influence the civilian American population. I'm like, okay, never mind.
Everything you do is influence. Every conversation you have with somebody is an influence operation.
Exactly.
Period. And PAOs be like, we don't influence. We present the Army's message. Like that is influencing. Like what are you talking about? Let's look at the definition of influence, right?
Yeah.
The influence is you are trying to give this person something positive or negative about this subject.
Yeah. There was a podcast that had, I think it was like a vice admiral of the Coast Guard or their version of like their chief of staff, and he said presence is influence.
Everything is influence.
And everything's influence. Well,
when I'm petting my cat, that's influence. I'm trying to influence that animal to like me, right? Like it's a cat, so it's not going to like me, but I'm going to try. It's everything you do is influence.
Well, most of it as well. Is it part of our education as well? Like for instance, each tribe has their own Q course and their own assessment and selection. And are we lacking that? Hey, this is how you talk. This is how you do a mod demo. This is what a mod demo is for. So that way, when you have a Codell or you have somebody from the media ask anybody a question, because you ask a Marine embassy guard, straight script, is able to talk, what he does, what he or she does, guard the embassy, it's occurring, classified material, blah, 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 blah. We don't have a script. We don't have a script, aside from, like you said, lifted trucks, beards, tattoos, and look at the 160th.
I mean, yeah, we're our own worst enemies, right? Like, it's not just having a script. It's like just what can you say and not say? But then, a lot of it's just ego, right? Like,
Mhm.
oh, I can't do what I do. I'm just a badass, and those guys are stupid. And those guys,
These guys are pogues. No, those guys are yeah. Oh my god, man! Like, dude, what do you know about soft, bro? We all kind of like we all talk. We all know each other. And that's another thing too. They're now are they going to be changing any of the NCO PDSs in the NCO Academy for any of the tribes as well? Is there any changes coming?
I think so. Obviously, my lens is special operations, P&Es, right, or professional military education. We do a very good job. Like, I'll just take the senior leader course, for example, where we're at. They run concurrently, right? So 37s, 38s, and 18 series all start together, which is civil affairs, PSYOP, and SF. And then we come into the planning phase. We bring them together, right? They do their planning exercise together. And before that, and it all builds on each other, right? When they do their unit training management, and they go into planning, if they're like, okay, now you guys are going to deployment, and if they say, hey, we're going to do waterborne infill, and I was like, well, your team didn't train any water. Why would I sign off on that risk? You shut up and try something else, right? But and it's harder because like the 37s and 38s, they were doing different training plans. So you got to look at like, okay, well, what are you trained in? Like, what can you do at this point? You just did this training plan for 12 months. You certified and validated in these things, and now you're going to do this, but you didn't train on any of that stuff. So how are you capable of doing that? But we bring them together and we have those discussions. So I think that we do it very well in our space. I don't know, how the Army's doing it outside and their non-commissioned officer academies, but I think we do a pretty good job of it here. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
No, it does. What about I know somebody asked, hey, what about, are we bringing back reserve component under one umbrella? This is for CA and PSYOP.
I think we're bringing one umbrella. Because the PMEs, like, the one Army school system says that you can't really, give priority like compo 1, 2, and 3 for those things. But I don't think so. Like, as far as like some kind of command structure.
Because at one time we were all together, like everybody was together. Everybody.
Yeah, no, it's gonna stay segregated. It's like, as far as like for those specific muscles, it'll stay segregated. They did it for a reason. So now you got your regular Army component, or use KPOC, and you got what we have for what we consider for Special Forces Command. That's not going to change, in my opinion. I don't think it will.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the opinion of the Army. They could have different views. Who knows?
Did you? I was about to say, you don't see it happening. Is it good that it's not, or is it bad? I mean,
I don't know. I think that we need to do a better job of, putting everybody together downrange. We've gotten this weird like thing, like, oh, we're doing convergence. We're doing, I hate this word, cross-functional teams, right? Like, oh, look at this cross-functional football team. Like, it's a team. It's cross-functional by nature, right? I've never deployed where I didn't have cooks on the gun turret while also cooking, or I'm cooking as an 18 series guy, or, we're all like, we're all generator mechanics at one point, and then, our 37s and 38s, we're all working together as a team. And I've lost more non-18 series guys in combat than 18 series guys. Like, I don't know, it drives me crazy. Like, when you go down range, you got a mission set, you got to figure out how to accomplish it. Sometimes it's with kinetic means, sometimes it's with influence. Sometimes that's using our civil affairs assets for forced access and placement, and knowing what's going on, and then maybe not doing anything, right? And then, I've never deployed without an infantry element with us for some kind of security and to bring some ass. Like, I don't know. I don't like the word cross-functional team. I think it's ridiculous when we talk about convergence. If you just look at the 2014 doctrine for special forces, it says if a special forces company and an AOB or ODB deploys in the capacity of an advanced operating base, it will do so with a robust effects cell, heavy enablization. Like, we've been doing this stuff. You're just making up words because you didn't read the doctrine, which is important to understand. Probably going off on a tangent. I mean, I'll go off on some weird.
No, because a cross-functional team is it increasing our rucksack though within the tribes when they say, okay, now we're going to have cyber.
No, I think saying it's somebody that didn't understand doctrine to begin with, come up with a cool word so they can get a cool OER, and then everybody's like, oh, look at those cool words. Like,
kind of like centers of excellence, that thing.
that bothered me for a while, but I understand it more now why we did it. Like, maneuver center of excellence, which I will say does have the best officer career courses. Like, I think We have now got our special operations captain's career course to where it very closely mimics that. It's not quite there, but I think it's probably as close as it can get. But anyway, again, I'll get real nerdy on some doctrinal stuff.
No. I love it. I love
let's not do that.
No. I love. I mean, I can get nerdy. Well, who are the other people listening, anyways? The biggest thing is that the future of SOF. What do we see for the future of SOF? I know we're talking cuts. We're talking, like you just said, is it a confusion of doctrine by saying cross-functional teams? Where do you see us in 2020? What is it? Did they already post a 2030 whatever?
The visions are out there, but they're relatively the same. Like, we get paid to be very creative with the resources we have, right? I think that we just need to focus more on instead of getting all technologically advanced, which we do need to do, but
Right.
You need to be really good at basic stuff as well, because you can shut all that off instantly if you take anything, man. Like, look at the Ukraine war and take those lessons learned, because that's some amazing lessons for warfare there. So everything is combined, like, combined arms maneuver has always been a thing. If you're going to be successful, it's going to be a combined effort, and you've got to be able to bring everything together. And I think that's going to require people just to be more intelligent on, not just logistics, but how do you sustain yourself in these future environments where the threats can strike deep, right? And with special operations, how do you deal with your signature? It's hard. Like we talk about, we're adding more space stuff into our PME curriculums, which is like, what I really need to know about space. Like, where your signature is a problem. Like, the things that you can detect from, from up high right now is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So before it was like how am I proficient in camo next? Now, how are you also proficient with your managing your electronic signature, your heat, like everything? Now you got to be the ultimate ghost down there. Like, how do you do that, right? I think it's going to be a lot of trial and error, but we got to figure out how to operate in the future environment pretty quickly. You're going to get smoked almost instantaneous. Like, information, the ability to get information right now on almost anything it's terrifying. And even last time I was here, like what the Russians were able to do to us it was terrifying, right?
Yep.
And they were using some pretty archaic stuff, in my opinion, but they were still able to shut us down pretty frequently.
How do I say this? Because I know what you're talking about, but I don't want to get in that lane. Have we learned? How about that? Have we learned from that?
I think we're always learning, right? I think maybe that we might be too slow to learn in an organization. We can't even take lessons learned from Afghanistan without getting butt hurt, right?
True. True.
So I think if we don't get faster at learning some things and being able to implement change with whether it's contracting systems or whatever, we're going to be in a world of hurt, because other nations aren't slave to that, but we are.
Yeah.
So I do foresee that as being a problem, because we are slower on being able to make change.
The advent of drone warfare. Do you think that's another?
That's scary, right?
Isn't
there,
it?
right?
Isn't it? It's nuts. Is it going to be an addition for us? Who's going to own it? Like when we get these new TP, who? Okay, who's going to be the drone operator? Is it going to be the SF guy, the CA guy, or the SIAB guy? You know what I mean? Is it an employment system, like a weapon that an 18 Bravo?
It's going to have to be another MOS. Like, if you look at what they're doing in Ukraine, like, those are dedicated operators, and what you have to do to train to be that good on some of those systems is pretty intense, right? I mean, I can just look at, okay, well, how much training did it take for like one or two guys on the operational detachment alpha to be proficient at just flying a kind of an archaic system around? It's pretty in depth. So I don't know. I've got some really weird small unit or small UAV policies in the military right now that are pretty restrictive. If we don't change those and look at those, we're going to be in a world of hurt as well, because you almost got to be a damn pilot to fly those things, right? So,
and I'm talking about the small quadcopters. I'm not talking about like the Reaper.
Even that stuff. You look at what it takes to actually, like, if you want to be like, check the block, like, I'm good, and we lose this drone, it's not like and we report it with FAA, it's like a big deal. Like, the requirements to stay up on that are like ridiculous. It's crazy.
Yep.
So
I was once.
I think we do need to better on that. We need to get more intelligent on how to do that properly.
Now, do you think that I mean, like you said, we're always learning. Are we, like you said, how slow are we? Are we like we don't care about it, and now all of a sudden, oh shit, we need to react to it? Or is it, we're working on it? Yeah, we've been seeing it. How is it? What do you think the gauge is on there?
IPSA.
Okay, gotcha. Lots of bugs.
NHS Genesis.
Oh God, exactly. I know, man. Oh, don't get me started.
And it's not even like we could say, oh, it's the military's fault. It's not. It's like there are contracting laws in place, which we are slave to, which we have to abide by because we have a government, and that's the stuff we need to change, right? Like, so that's even, we could say that's just incompetence in the military, but it's not actually. It's what we're slave to, which
right.
Congress needs to change that, right?
Yeah, I was at a couple of huddles with the three commandants office when we were talking about the additional MOSs for SF, PSYOP, and CA, and it was because I could show up to having all my certifications in social media exploitation, MAC, all my lickies and chewies. I could be another Ash Holzman. But if I don't present any certifications to it, then shut up, dude. You're just a PSYOPer. You know what I mean? Is there a way to bring that to the table to where if someone is certified in that specific field, that hey, look, yeah, this is a guy we could use maybe as an ASI?
I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that question.
No, because me and Ash talk about that stuff. It's like we can do all that media work. We could do. I mean, that was my past work, anyways. We could do all that social media stuff, but then. Okay, now how do we incorporate it? How do we put it in PME? How do we put it in practice to where it is an actual certification that you can bring in? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we have too many certifications as it is, but that's my.
Well, I'm not talking about the online, cyber awareness training. I'm not talking about that.
Which we all love.
Which we all love. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. -1. We want to reference what our requirements are. That's what I was going at the SMA about. I was like, hey man, he's like, oh, I can't believe people do this. Like, look, if you look in 350-1 Appendix F, which the CSA signed, like that's where it has all that bullshit. Like you could easily just take that page out, re-sign it if you wanted to.
Right. Right, exactly. Anyway. Another question in the chats here is, did senior leadership learn from anything from VSO-VSP partnership between SF, PSYOP, and CA during the Afghanistan war? And this is something that the three tribes did together in Vietnam. And are we in danger of losing those lessons again?
I mean, we're always in danger of losing those lessons. It's probably one of our primary weaknesses is let's capture those lessons and be brutally honest with ourselves and not try to like fake the funk. Like, hey, we got all this shit right. Or like, that's what really pissed me off is when Afghanistan was like, oh, I couldn't have done any better. Like, man, I fought in that war for 20 years. We could have done a lot of stuff better, but our ego and pride gets in the way, and then we can't actually take those lessons and do anything with them because, right? Because
feelings get hurt.
Like, yeah, hey man, we screwed X, Y, and Z up. So how do we not do that again, right? And even as a big picture, I just think we're doing my ARs on a lower level pretty good, but I don't see any big takeaways from Afghanistan where we learned our lessons. Maybe I'm just not paying attention, but I don't see it.
Mm-hmm. I think more of it is within how we worked within ourselves as opposed to the actual operations, if that makes any sense, because a lot of it is, like you were just saying, the convergence and all of us working together. We, in our older days, and our younger days, I should say, back in the day, I would show up to your company and as your PSYOP rep, and hey, we're going to train together. We're going to do some infills together. We're going to do rehearsals together. We're doing jumps. We're doing all this stuff together. So that way, when I showed up to the AOR, you recognize me as your team sergeant for PSYOP, and that's it. You didn't have to worry about it. Did we move away from that a little bit in your experience?
No, I think we do a pretty decent job of that, but when you deploy, you're going to who you get. So very rarely do you get that element, and then when you deploy, you have those same people on there, from my experience.
Gotcha.
But I think we've done a much better job in recent history of incorporating all those assets together up to a deployment. From what I've seen, I know from my last trip in Syria where we had everybody and we deployed, everybody that we did our train up with is who we deployed with. And, my effects cell was run by a civil affairs E7, but under him was a number of PSYOPers, public affairs officers, which were enlisted. They were PAOs, but they weren't officers. A JAG, a couple of cyber guys, right? And those guys were our main effort.
Yeah.
And it was pretty awesome, but we'd worked together leading up to that point, and then they executed well. And then, after that, as an S3 sergeant major in a battalion, I thought we also did a very good job of that. And then the element deployed with those people. And that specific people might have gone to a different ODA or a different company, but
Right. Somebody asked a question here that we can both answer on this one. One question that I've always had is, are the soft guys held to the same cyber awareness BS as the rest of the Army?
Yep, I got it. And when I have to do it every year, I turn my speakers around. I turn them all the way up to if I'm going to deal with that shit, everybody's got to deal with it, right? We don't. There's no alibis. But if you look in 3T-1, everything except for Sharpstone in there says you can have an SME do it, but cyber awareness and your AAP. So everything else you can actually put on a memo and submit it, and by the regulation, it's good, except for Sharp, which I'm glad they're doing what they're doing now, where they put on the commanders, and it's no longer like an online requirement.
Correct.
But again, it's when you do that, that makes it all check the block, right? If it's going to be important, then make it important. Like, don't put it online. So
right, exactly.
I could go into like the online training thing all day long. I think it's
big.
If you turn the page in the appendix, all the other required training has a why and has an in-depth explanation of what it is and why you're doing it, right?
Right.
That first page of online training, there's no why, because it's just check the block. So either make it real or get rid of it, in my opinion.
Yep, exactly. I think this is like we're gonna have another second iteration of classes that
cyber awareness. Like, some dude's gonna take my ID card, I'm not gonna chase him down and beat his ass. Yeah,
exactly.
I always get that one wrong on purpose. Like, no, I'm not gonna chase Jake out of the office.
Exactly. He took my phone, so I'm just gonna let him take it and report it to my security manager. What are you talking about, dude? I'm gonna beat his ass. Any plans to visit? And this is a heritage question. Any plans to visit McClure's grave with the SWIC Heritage Week? His stone was not looking so good out there in Indiana-Kentucky border.
Ooh, damn. I don't know. I don't want to answer for that one.
Yeah. If you guys don't know who General Robert McClure is, the father of psychological warfare, and he had tasked, or he had picked his colonel, Colonel Aaron Bank, to be the creator, the father of special forces. So
I'm taking a note here so I can pass it on.
Yeah, exactly. Appreciate it. So we were talking about earlier about information and on leaders ceding to the information space with all the media stuff going on, dude. About what we do. Like, what you've seen me, you've seen the SF regiment, you've seen everybody get attacked for what they're perceived of what we do. And I just before we went on break, we talked about the 2 special operations soldiers that were arrested. Okay, can you tell us at least what they got busted for? What was they got?
I can tell you what was written about. Like, so I have not asked. Like, I read it. There's been people like, "Oh, did you hear about this?"
Mm-hmm.
I am under the firm belief in life that I don't have to form an opinion on anything if I don't have enough valid information on it. In this case, I've just not asked questions because, in the past I have worked with one of the individuals, and I just don't want to know. Right? I don't want to know that the dude was arrested. From what I read, it didn't seem like that egregious, but again, I don't know.
Right.
What the truth is. I know there's a 300-page report came out pretty recently that I read, and I am on some of the human factor stuff where I see like how bad the drug problem in Fayetteville is in the drug corridor there, and it is bad. Like this area and the big of a base of it is. And I know law enforcement, from what I've seen, doing a decent job at trying to interdict it, but it's pretty wild. It's pretty scary stuff. When you see all these people like overdosing from fentanyl, it's not necessarily because they're taking fentanyl, but they're like lacing all these drugs and stuff with it. So,
right.
It's actually pretty terrifying when you look at the numbers. You're like, oh, wow, that's a really big fucking problem. But yeah, let's go back to like you're talking about guys in the social space. Like, people fear it, right? Like, people still fear the podcast, even though it's extremely heavily edited.
Right.
And when I do the final edits, I've got the joint ethics regulation in front of me. I've got every piece of PAO regulation. I've got every social media guidance, and I ensure that it's legitimate and it's ready to go out.
Well, that was my thing, is that when someone way early in the chat, way early before the show started, or as we were playing some of the stuff, and we posted active duty soldiers, involved in podcasts, and I just think that a lot of again, when the Ghost of the Machine came out, there was so much holy shit. People were already adding their tinfoil to it. People were already adding their whatever. The same thing with there's a drug problem in SF. Is it? And you were saying about being moving ourselves from being a quiet professional to be a better I don't know, ambassador, spokesperson, I guess.
To sell out, right? There's like, you're gonna be a weirdo about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing big, but my biggest thing is that.
But the problem is we got to worry about this. Like, people will take anything you say real time and they will twist it into something else. So that is a problem. Like, we saw it with AUSA. Like, some of the stuff that people were upset about, if you look at the whole clip and put it in context, like, all right, that's not actually bad. Some of the stuff was actually really dumb. But like, what the hell is that person talking about? even in context, right? But
right.
I think it's a valid fear because anything that you say, no matter what, I could go online and say, hey, like I love America, and people are going to twist that, and it's going to be
Yep, you're a nationalist.
yeah, something, right?
Yeah, you're a nationalist. You're this. And you're like, Jesus Christ, man.
Same thing with it. So the fears are valid, but it's like, okay, well, sometimes the biggest form of cowardice is not doing something because you don't have to, in my opinion.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, my biggest thing is that, dude, it's like the shit talkers.
There's risk.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
You only win by taking risks. Like if you play defensively a whole game, you're not going to win.
Right.
You might not lose, or you might not lose that bad, but you're not going to win.
Right. And it makes me mad when we have outside, how do I say this, media or other reporters or something like that like to talk that are like way out of the scope. That, dude, that's not what happened. That's not the context of what the event was. And it just blows me away. I'm sure you and I have both been involved in that drama where someone likes to throw up something that, I don't know if you're trying to make some shit stick or you hurt some cheeseman that we didn't know anything about or whatever, but what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, you're well aware of like my false allegation issues last year where certain journalists decided to help a con artist try to take me down in her con against somebody else. But yeah, you have a lot of journalists that they're just trying to get clicks, man. So that's what they're in for. So like even some of the recent stuff with the drug bust, like that really did happen this week. I was reading some of it and I was like, this is just nonsense. Like why even put that in there, right? It's like I forgot what some of the stuff was. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about?
Well, there was that connection where the two SMU guys were found in the training area, and
yeah, now that might have some truth to it. Like I don't know. Like again, I'm a kind of guy. Like I'm not going to form an opinion, good or bad, about anything, or a strong opinion unless I'm armed with what I feel is viable information, right? And you can do that. Like you don't actually have to have an opinion on shit.
Yeah.
If you don't want to, right?
You can scroll right on, buddy. Scroll
make
right
sure
on.
What, like, okay, I'm going to have a strong opinion on this thing because I'm actually armed with what I believe is valid information. It checks out, and I've got enough of it to where, like, okay, now I can have this opinion on whatever. But everybody's like always wants to get, they want to jump on the bandwagon and get mad about something, which is cool. But with stuff like that, like I don't know enough about that to actually have an opinion on it, right? Like, and it's hard to sift through all the information with that because there's so much different shit, so much bullshit out there. Like, what do you really believe, right?
And the thing is that
I have inside information on it, right, from people, and they're like, okay, well, that's some really weird stuff. Like,
right. Well, a lot of it too is that if you just ask, we're more likely will educate you on some of the. Dude, that whole fucking Ghost in the Machine, I'll tell you right now, that caused so much freaking drama for me because immediately it was like, oh, what's the QAnon thing? And it's what is PSYOP doing? And they're part of what is Special Forces planning on doing? And they're using PSYOPers to do this. And here's Chuck Ritter. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I mean, that's how we kind of like, we strengthened our friendship because I'm like, dude, what's going on? Oh, fuck, dude, what's going on? It's bad. I personally think that if you're, it's like really, for me, I think that as a representative of, even in retirement, I consider myself a soldier for life. I'm proud of the regiments. I'm proud of each of the regiments and what we've done and what we do and all that. And it just really just like, dude, I know who the fuck you are, man. Why are you even fucking talking shit? You know that doesn't work that way. You know it's not that type of.
You just gotta ignore it. Like, you gotta ignore it. That's what I've learned is just ignore it.
Hey man, it's the cholo in me, dude. I get fired up. I fucking want to go ahead and just like, no, you ain't
Here's
shit.
what I learned. People are gonna try to troll you and bring you down, right? Like the enemy's changed for me. Like, before it's people downrange trying to kill me. I've come back from combat, 3 times in a medevac. But later in life, it's just people are gonna try to take you down. People are gonna try to be negative. They're gonna try to turn stuff into what it's not. Like, who cares? If that brings them happiness in life and that helps them sleep better at night, who gives a shit? Like,
Yeah,
you have your thing, man. You be a troll. You come up with these conspiracy theories, and not that there probably are some conspiracies that are real, right? Like,
right.
Probably most of them aren't, but
right.
There's some evil people out there, man. I've learned that recently. There's some evil people out there.
Yeah.
But hey, man, like. That's you, man. You're entitled to your own beliefs. If you start like being just a super negative person towards other people and bringing them down, it's probably wrong.
Right.
And stuff. That's weird shit. But hey, man, people come in like, hey, man, like if that's what you want to believe, let's have a discussion about it. I think that what we've lost in current society is let's have a discussion, and maybe we have a large difference of opinion. Okay, let's walk away still respecting each other. We don't have to agree with each other.
Right. No, you and I, me and you both can agree and disagree, and we're still cool about it. The biggest thing is that is the second chances stuff that we were talking about earlier. It doesn't have to be a cancelable event. Like for instance, some of the case that you're going through. I know you can't really talk about it, but there's once it's out and once it's thrown in the media, it's getting people to retract it. Hey, dude, you're not even like 100. You're not even near the fucking target. Yeah, you were talking about one of your hell, even in your own situation, the second chance.
Second chance. So like in that case, what we're talking about with the false allegations last year, that soldier. I was in like 12 tablets. I was in a French tablet. Like 2 of them are still on the front page. You Google my name, they'll pop up. Like cool. Like I'm leaving them there for a reason. You can pay to have that shit removed. It's pretty easy. But they're there for a reason. I screenshot them quite frequently. There's some court cases in North Carolina going on that I'm letting finish up where I'm a witness at. But the soldier involved in that, I'd fired him from Syria. He had his special forces tab removed, and he was convinced that like I was behind this thing. So they came up with this stuff and they executed on it. Well, we sat actually in this pub. This is my basement. This is the Falcon Snail pub. It's a pretty badass Irish pub.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I use it a lot for like mentorship and whatever. He sat right in front of me in January, maybe February, and he ran me down what he did, why he did it, and how he did it. He's like, this is how we made like these fake text messages and all sort of shit. And he just apologized. And he didn't ask me for anything, right? He's like, hey man, when you fired me from my detachment, you told me that you felt I needed an ego check, or I was going to continue to step on my crank. He's like, I took that personally. He's like, but in retrospect, I see that it's exactly what I needed, and I've had a massive ego check. Well, just recently, I put him into a mental health program for a nonprofit that I'm a part of, Talent Reach Foundation. So he went to that, and it's very possible that, or even maybe probable that he makes more poor decisions in life, but it feels like he's on the right path, and and he's agreed to go to like an inpatient treatment program next year. And I don't hate the guy. Like he made a very valid attempt to try to destroy my career, but he was one of my soldiers, and I don't have anything against him. I'm a witness for him in these events here, and that's like that second chance. Because that was the same thing. If people didn't give me a second chance, like I had a $70,000 credit card fraud charge on me and failed a drug test. Going into the military, my first APFT score was 94 out of 300, like in basic training. Right? If people had just brushed me away or not giving me a chance or a second chance, like I wouldn't be here today as an E9, right? So I'm big into that, and I think that as leaders, like all of our soldiers deserve that. At promotion boards, I usually ask people, like, okay, like say you get the soldier coming in, you get intel that he had the $70,000 credit card fraud charge. He failed his drug test. He has 94 points in his APFT, and like, what would you do? Like, oh, dude, let me link it with a jack, so we're gonna kick this guy out. I'm like, okay, well, that's my story. That's what happened when I came in. So let's invest in your people, even if they look like a lost cause sometimes, and you can change the world. But that's a second chance, right? So this whole story is very interesting because this guy tried to take me out pretty heavily. It really all turned out it was like this con by this female, and I just happened to be collateral damage in her con against him. She's like ruined like 33 careers, maybe more. Like people have been to the hospital, she tried to kill a couple guys. Like it's wild. It is wild. I could give you more detail. I mean, you've seen a pretty huge packet on it, which shows
exactly
all her and that journalist text back and forth, and the text between the family, and it shows like this journalist helped her with her endeavors. And that'll all come out pretty soon, probably. I guess maybe like January next year.
I mean, I didn't want to get too much into the details of it, but I knew that you had gone through that. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. And it's like, do people still come back to you on it and say, hey, aren't you the guy that, and
sometime, maybe, but not really. It's been odd. Like I would say that I did learn about there was like a 3-month-long IG investigation on that one. It came back and proved it all to be nonsense. But, like when you're flag man, you learn like you lose tuition assistance. I was like, man, the flag records are kind of jacked up.
Yeah, it is.
But I thought the command took a very objective approach, and I've seen commands be worried about stuff like that. But I thought in those situations, like at least for me, the Army was very objective. But I had a guy in my S3 shop recently. I mean, he was flagged for 4 years for some civilian charges that just got done like 4 months ago, and like they ended up really being almost nothing. It's like, man, like people can weaponize the system and screw soldiers over.
Oh no, yeah.
I'm going to write some white papers on, I think, on that when I get out, just because if we don't change some of those policies and regulations, I think that.
Well, we've seen it happen with some very you know, with fucking General Donahoe with all that shit that happened to him with the weaponizing of the IG. I think the IG and its intent was great, but now it's to the point to where it's a whole. It's being weaponized. I'll just flat out say it's being weaponized.
We do it like the family advocacy program. Like I've seen people take that and weaponize it to where if you file a complaint, they have to take it seriously, which they should. Let's do that back to where somebody's under investigation for, 2 years for really no reason, just because this person's angry. No,
that's usually the case.
So it's odd. I don't even know how you combat that. I've thought about it. I was like, well, shit, how do you change these policies? Like, and I don't have the answer to it, but I think that you need to, right?
Right, exactly. Or you could just send it to our inbox to at least highlight it, and it's recorded on there. So somebody's, I know it's almost October. It's still Fire Safety Month. Someone's breaking balls on your chirping back there behind you.
On the what?
On the chirp of your fire alarm.
Oh, the chirp? I don't hear it. Damn.
You know the.
I got to change some batteries out. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Calling me out some batteries.
I know somebody else. I was like, is it me?
Let me write that down.
I was muting my mic. I'm like, no, it's not me because PMCS.
Yeah, maybe I just blocked it out. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I didn't notice it until somebody just said it. I'm like, chirp. I'm like, oh shit, okay. I know there's a meme going on about that.
Good call, man.
So somebody has one question that they want to say, hey, how much is it to attend your motivational ice bath school? your
motivational ice bath school?
Yeah. They're talking about, I think they're breaking balls on those guys that to be a man, you got to pay like $18,000 to do that.
Oh, that one, yeah, where I was like posting stuff, yeah, like $18,000 and come yell at you for 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, holy shit! I've seen some.
What is it? The Modern Day Night Project? I think it is.
I might as well. Yeah, if I wanted that, I would just be marrying my first wife or something like that.
Yeah, there was some pretty good comments on there.
Well, it's about here.
That for free.
Yeah, exactly. Let me show. So apparently, guys, and this is what's been. You guys need to get on the X app. This is Chuck's Twitter feed, and there's these guys that have this school that you pay $18,000 to get berated, and I think the guy like in charge is like he wasn't even like a MARSOC guy or something like that. He wasn't like I know B case.
But, we hate on these people, but they're making money. They've got clientele to pay. Like, are we just jealous? Like, I mean, I think it's weird. Like, I wouldn't pay to do that, but shit, the business model seems to work. So,
well, if you look at the schedule, yeah, it was like some of them were like sold out. Like he had 15 sessions that were sold out. Your comment was, the problem is y'all think I'm teaching discipline in my course. I'm not. I'm teaching you how to absolve yourself of the fear of spending money. We break it 1, 5, 10K, and eventually you'll give us 18K void of any fear. It's proven. Ask any of our clients. Yeah. Fear abolished. So that's where the joke.
Took it real seriously, right? They got real mad about it. All right.
Exactly. It's classic.
Hey, but for real, like if you're like, Chuck, I'll pay you $18,000 to yell at me for 3 days. Okay, I'm not going to feel bad about that. Other people can go talk shit on me all day long. I will take your money and yell at your ass and make you a change for 3 days, right? Good on you. Like,
right.
I mean, I think what we're trying to say is like, why would you guys pay $18,000 to do this? But hey, man, if somebody's got a ton of money and that's what they want to do and it makes them happy, then whatever. Wow. You do you.
I mean, low-key, I wouldn't film it either. I mean, just for that troll factor. I don't know. Maybe
it seems to work, and they seem to have a lot of clientele. Yeah. Like, would I go pay for that, or would I do that? No, but
yeah.
Hey, man, like, whatever, man. Good on them.
Oh man.
I mean, like, check it out. If I said, "Hey, Ken, I'm going to pay you $18,000, and I want you to film you just berate me for 3 days," you're going to tell me you're going to say no?
No, actually, I will use my
principal. You're like, no, I'm principal. I'm not going to take your money.
No,
you're going to do it.
I'm going to take your fucking cash and I'm going to use my drone to fucking have the
and then
running
footage.
footage.
Online people are going to talk shit like, oh, this dumbass came from PSYOP and beat his ass for 3 days, right? And we're like, oh.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, I'm influencing. That's the influencing thing. It's magic.
Right? Yeah.
It's magic. You know, I don't want to say QAnon because I'll have people fucking freaking out of this podcast. Did you see it? He admitted it. Him and Chuck Ritter fucking admitted that shit. Anyways, hey man, thanks for coming on, bro. I totally appreciate you, and I also thank the commanding general of the enterprises of U.S. Army Special Operations Command and the JFK Special Warfare Center and School for letting you to come on, man.
I don't think they know I'm on here, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. Oops.
all the PAOs do. So
yeah. Okay. Well, then there you go. There, you won't get in trouble. And if anything else, I'm not pulling this shit down. By the way.
You're good. I'm a retiree now. My retirement paperwork is in.
That's what I'm talking about. When's your retirement ceremony?
I don't know if I'm going to do that. We'll see.
Okay. Are you going to have a retire? I know you talked about having a retirement hanging around thing too, though.
Yeah, I don't know. So I still have to have another hip surgery, right? I just had one. I just had a hip replacement. I got to get another hip replacement.
Yeah.
I got my jaw put back in place, like all crooked, because I never got it. It took like 4 years to rebuild my face after 2008, and I just didn't feel like getting my jaw wired shut. So I still got to do that. And then I don't know if I'm still motivated after that. I'm not super disgruntled with the Army. Maybe I'll have a retirement ceremony. It's also why I talk funny, because all this shit's fake. I have aphasia, like brain damage.
I know what it's like, man. Yep, I got a face.
Not very smart.
Yeah,
you got a face for radio?
I got a face for radio. I got a fake face too.
But I'm surprised. Like the one question that usually comes up, which I'm surprised again, is like, "Hey, man, like, why is this dude like wasting his time in the Army? Why isn't this guy just killing it as a male model?" And then maybe you did get that. You didn't tell me, but it didn't.
I was about to say you must be looking at my notes, because that's what I was about to say, dude. Why are you doing this? What made you do this? I mean, you can instantly freaking be on any Dancing with the Stars episode and be rocking it with the chicas. But anyhow. Yeah, all right, brother. Hey, man, thanks for coming on. You got anything you want to say before we take off?
Nah, man. Thank you for what you do, Ken. And also, Rodney Joshua said to say what's up. So.
Oh, right. My man. I love that dude. Great guy. Oh, man. All right. Well, supposedly Terry Shepard has you blackballed. Was that the case? Is that true?
Who?
Terry Shepard. He's
I don't know who that is.
You know who that is? You know who Terry Shepard is? The guy who Task Force Dagger, who's on Fox News sometimes, who does that? What was it? U.S. weapons or weapons shit on. See, that's the thing. I gotta have him on here now. I'm gonna break balls.
What does he have me blackball for?
I don't know.
Be interesting.
Oh, from the entertainment industry, I guess.
Me?
Yeah,
no,
I don't know.
I'm not in the entertainment industry. I think that'll be there.
Yeah, I think my bros are in their chats trolling both of us. So.
I mean, that'd be cool. I'd love to be blackballed from something. That'd be pretty awesome. It's a cool story, right?
Exactly. All right, brother man. Chuck Ritter, Sergeant Major, U.S. Army Special Operations Command, and the JFK Special Warfare Center and School, the premier podcast producer of the Pineland Underground. Hey,
it is the highest ranking podcast in the DoD.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I like it. Awesome. Yeah, exactly.
I'm still producing it on the backside. I might not be hosting them anymore, but for a little while, I'll still produce them.
Well, come on, man. You're doing it. You're knocking out of the park. All right, we're gonna take a break right quick while me and Chuck shoot the shit and plot the destruction of everything, and we'll be right back. So shots.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Trapped inside, it makes it difficult. She's a back and takes a back. It's our flesh and broken and like a sad.
There's a lot of tough talk on Twitter, but there's not a lot of real talk.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. Man, we could have talked all fucking night. Shout out again to Sergeant Major Chuck Ritter for coming on again. I would like to thank all the leaders at the respective commands for letting them shoot the shit and hang out and all that stuff. And damn, dude, that was some good talk. We could have talked more. I mean, obviously we were already 20 minutes over time, but hey, we could have kept going. We could have really kept going. There was a lot of stuff that we could have discussed that we'll wait. That will be released later. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out in the chats, man. Oh yeah, he wrote that information down, Pat. So yeah, go ahead and you could just send him a DM or send him his information. All that stuff about the McClure thing for Heritage Week. But at any rate, it's housekeeping. That's what I'm talking about. It's time to close it up. So matter of fact, let me. You are listening to A Certain Time with myself and Spanky. Obviously, Spanky. I said, get out. So you can listen to us on Thursdays. Friday Night Freedom's tomorrow. We have a show day. Tomorrow is a show day for Friday Night Freedom. I'm excited. It's been a minute since we had it. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world that I'm pretty sure Kaz is going to talk about. Kaz and Pooks. I don't know who's going to join him because I think Pookie's still at the net. At any rate, yeah. So I think that's going to be the. I don't even know why he doesn't have a guest. I'm looking at the calendar right now, so I think he'll. I'm pretty sure he's going to hit some of the current events that we've been seeing lately in the news. And of course, Saturday we have a day off, and then Sunday is the sports bar with the coach. What do you hear? What do you say? And of course, the illustrious, the actual King Smith, where they talk all fantasy, all Taylor Swift news. I'm just kidding. All sports news. We also have our fantasy football stuff going on as well. And then Monday is myself and Massey. We will probably talk about some of the stuff that's currently happening in the world, the current events, the war in Israel, the war in Ukraine, and of course, all the other stuff the news, commentary, and discussion that we always have on the Monday edition. Tuesday's Pop Culture Warrior with Michael Carrasquillo, also known as CQ, and Mad Mike. Mad Mike sounds like he's about ready to explode on somebody. You ever notice when he talks? Hey guys, you better shut up. It's like I like that shit. That's like a power move when it's like you're about ready to get your ass chewed out, and here comes it. Great guy. Glad him and CQ are safe from their trip in the New York Comic Con. So I'm pretty sure CQ is going to talk more stuff. I think we have. Wait a minute. Tuesday is Halloween. I totally forgot about that. This is Halloween. Yeah, that's right. So Tuesday's Halloween. So Pop Culture Warrior is more than likely going to have his Halloween show. That's what I'm talking about. I have to decide what uniform I'm going to wear. I don't know if I'm going to wear my Vader armor again, or maybe some Clone Trooper stuff, or maybe I might even powder my skin blue and get some red eye contacts to be Grand Admiral Thrawn. Oh, who knows? But normally what we do on the Halloween episode is we'll post all our costumes of what we wear in the station for that. Be careful out there, by the way, too, for any trick-or-treating events due to all the news that's happening. And then Wednesday's a smoke pit with, I think, do they have any time off? No? Okay, it looks like they'll be open. November 1st. Man, the beginning of November is going to be the smoke pit. Damn, dude. That's a lot of, November already. already going to be in fucking November. On Wednesdays, and of course, Sergeant's Time, with TZ and Radar, and then of course, Sergeant's Time with myself and Spanky. I think that covers it. I think appreciate y'all being in the chat and throwing your questions and comments in there. I do appreciate that. Yeah, Chuck, I think if you could just go ahead and send him a DM, Pat, you'll be good to go. And again, thank you guys for tuning in and shooting the breeze. Thanks again for Chuck for coming on. Sergeant Major Chuck. Yeah. Thanks, Chuck, for coming on. Appreciate it. And if you have not checked out the Pineland Underground podcast, remember, so you can check it out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if we can share some of their stuff. Maybe do a share of one of their podcasts or something like that. So that way you guys can see it and populate it, and then you guys can understand all the soft enterprise or Army Special Operations Forces enterprise. So I think that's it. I think we're good. You guys have anything for me? You guys good to go? I see all your smiling faces in there, waving hi and all that. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And I think that's it. So y'all have a good night. See you. Shots. Win the mine, win the day.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Sometimes when I look at, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, I think it's WTF Army or something.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.